What really happened in Jamaica? Think about how the parents feel in that situation. We were very embarrassed. We were in shock just as much as everyone else. There's no seatbelts in the back seats. There's no car seats or anything like that. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Melissa Beckeru, and today I want to talk about what really happened in Jamaica. So to start, I really wanted to say a huge thank you because I woke up this morning to 800 subscribers, and when I tell you I could literally cry because I have been at this whole YouTube journey for almost 2 years. I think it'll be 2 years in November, and it has been a slow process to get to 800, and my last YouTube video that I posted last week has over 5,500 views. Excuse me. I really couldn't even believe it. I still can't believe it. I'm in shock, and I thank every single one of you that found me from that video and decided to follow. I hope you will stay with us through this whole journey of motherhood and us raising our kids. And yeah, I just want to say a huge shout out to all you guys and a huge thank you. Getting into the nitty gritty of this whole vacation. So basically we went there because my husband's father still lives there with his wife and kids, and they have a farm there, as you guys saw. So he is not really able to travel. So we haven't actually seen him in over 6 years. I think we went in 2019. So he's never met the kids, and we really wanted to bring the kids to meet him before Mila turned 2 because she's still free. So that's the reason why we went. We went to go see Jermaine's dad, and so the kids can meet their grandpa to start the plane ride. So me and Jermaine were very nervous about the plane ride. We were nervous about the whole trip, but specifically the plane ride because everybody knows that toddlers, babies, typically don't do the best on flights. So in order to prepare ourselves, we packed so many snacks, like literally, like we had like 15 different options of snacks. I bought them a little busy board book that they actually really liked. I bought them a new toy each that they brought on the plane. I also bought them a new book each to bring on the plane. So the first hour, the kids were really good. They were very excited. They had their lollipop during takeoff, so they didn't really complain about their ears popping or anything like that. But after that first hour, they were very restless. They wanted to run around and they couldn't. They kept kicking the person in front of us. They kept kicking their chair. I felt so bad. We kept apologizing like every single time, and thankfully they understood. It was an older Jamaican man. I believe he was Jamaican, and he was very sweet to us. But so after that hour, Leo had a really massive tantrum. I don't think he's ever had one like this before. And for context, he just turned 3. So when we were on the plane, he was still 2. He basically had a tantrum because, you know, when the people come around with water, like cups of water or juice or whatever. So Leo wanted water. He is usually pretty good with drinking from an open cup, but I don't know what happened. He ended up spilling half of it all over himself, and then he wanted more. And then he was upset because we told the stewardess to only fill it up like a little bit so it wouldn't spill, and he wanted the whole thing filled up, and it was just chaotic from that point on. He ended up having a massive tantrum because of the freaking water in the cup, and it lasted a good like 45 minutes, I want to say. He was pinching, he was biting, he was screaming at the top of his lungs. Jermaine had to literally restrain him because he was just going crazy. I wanted to start crying at this point because I'm like, I have never seen him like this, and there is literally nothing that we can do to calm him down right now. Like, we offered screen time, we offered so many different things, and he was just losing his mind. Now keep in mind, that morning we actually woke up the kids at 4 a.m. because the flight was for 9, so he didn't nap. So by the time of this tantrum, it was probably around like 10 or 11, and he was up from 4 a.m. So he was obviously exhausted. Like I said, Jermaine had to literally restrain him. Once he calmed down a little bit, he kept screaming that he wanted me. So we switched kids, and this poor baby passed out in my arms. And it was like, thank God, hallelujah, everybody on the plane was staring at us. And part of me got kind of like annoyed because I understand our kid is making a scene. He's kicking us, he's biting us, he's pinching us. Like, I understand it's a lot to look at. But think about how the parents feel in that situation. We were very embarrassed. We were in shock just as much as everyone else. And just having like all those people stare at us, it was kind of like, what are you looking at? Like, look away, like mind your own business, put your headphones in and mind your own business kind of thing. But obviously that's not how the world works. And I understand. I would probably do the same thing if I didn't have kids and I was on a plane and a kid was freaking out. So that was how the plane ride there went. When we landed, everything was fine. He was pretty good. The next problem that we ran into was how far a drive it is from Jermaine's dad house to the beach. So that first beach that we went to, Frenchman's Cove, that was actually a 4-hour drive. We didn't know it was that far. At least I didn't know it was that far. I don't know if Jermaine knew and just didn't tell me because it was his idea to go there. Beautiful beach, don't get me wrong, beautiful beach, but 4 hours. So we were stuck in the car for literally 4 hours with 2 toddlers. They kept wanting the window to be rolled down. Now keep in mind, we were on the highway. The roads are very, very bumpy in Jamaica, and it was low-key a little bit dangerous. There's no seatbelts in the back seats. There's no car seats or anything like that. So we were really just holding onto them for dear life because they wanted the window down. So we put the window down, but we were holding onto them very, very tight and just hoping that we got there sooner. But the beach days were a lot of fun. The kids loved the beach days. I will say, if you are going to any sort of like beach or anything like that, definitely bring your own water toys. So we brought buckets to build sandcastles, a bunch of shovels, stuff like that. Everywhere we went, we also always brought our iPads for the kids. We have only ever given it to them 2 times actually, and the first time was for a wedding that we went to, and this was the second time during the trip. But they're really not too crazy about them. They'd much rather just sit and like watch TV. But definitely bring a lot of supplies for the beaches. Now, on the way back home from that 4-hour car ride, Mila lost her shit. It seemed like they were taking turns throwing tantrums. So like one would throw a tantrum on the way there and the other would throw a tantrum on the way back. It seemed like they were plotting this the entire time, to be honest with you. But Mila was throwing a tantrum. I can't even remember why. I remember she was asleep in my arms, and because the road was so bumpy, she woke up. And I think that's what triggered her. She was just really tired. And when she got woken up, she did not like that. So she threw a massive tantrum. Again, I have never seen her that bad before. And right when I thought that she was calming down, I was holding her like this, like she was straddling me kind of thing. As soon as I thought that she was calming down, I received a huge slap on my face. My jaw was just like, because she has never done that before. We don't slap our kids. We don't do anything like that. So the fact that she slapped me so hard in my face, I literally couldn't even say anything. I was literally in shock, and our freaking driver like immediately like looked back and was like, all of us were just jaws open because we're like, what the hell just happened? As soon as that happened, Jermaine grabbed her and again was essentially restraining her because she was losing her mind. Keep in mind, this is all in the back of a car, like a small car. So we were squished. There was not a lot of room anywhere, and it was just chaotic. Again, I wanted to freaking cry because I'm like, why are my kids acting like this? But I know why they're acting like this is because they're tired. They're thrown off their routine. They're exhausted. After she calmed down, she was fine. We went back to cuddling. She fell asleep again, and all was well in Mila's world. But that was like a huge, huge shock to all of us in the car. So those were kind of the negatives, basically just crazy tantrums. But I want to get to some of the positives because we were very nervous booking this trip, and there were a lot of positives. Number one, I really wanted to point out the fact that I really, really loved sleeping in the same bed with my entire family. So his dad in Jamaica had a king size bed and a queen size bed, and we basically pushed them together and had one big bed, and me and Jermaine were on the ends and the kids were in the middle, and it was so, so cute. Getting ready for bed at the same time. And I would just read the kids a book in bed, and we were all just cuddling and cozy, and it was the sweetest little thing. All in all, the sleeping situation was really good. It was so, so nice just to be all together. We thought that that was going to be the roughest thing because they're used to their own beds, they're used to their crib and their bed, and we thought that was going to be really hard sleeping in the same bed, in the same room, because they're used to their routine. They're really used to having their own sleeping space, their own rooms. That wasn't the case in Jamaica, but it worked out. We all had like really good sleeps, to be honest. I didn't set an alarm all week, so it was really nice to just sleep in. Mind you, we were still up at like 7 or 8 a.m. anyways, but that was definitely a positive. Another huge pointer I wanted to say, so throughout the entire week, the kids really did not eat that much. I was really stressed out the first few days because they wouldn't eat breakfast, they didn't eat lunch, they would have like a bite of dinner and like that was it. So something that really helped us is we brought their favorite breakfast foods and lunch foods. So for my kids currently, they are obsessed with Flourish pancakes. So I brought a big pack of Flourish pancakes. I also brought a few of the Annie's mac and cheese. They love that. So at least I knew every single day they would have two options for food for the day that they would or would not eat. But most days they did have their Annie's mac and cheese. Something funny that actually happened was when we were packing for Jamaica, I didn't want to bring their good water bottles, their pink and blue Yeti water bottles, because in case they got damaged or whatever, I didn't want to lose those bottles. They were like 40 bucks each. So we had like these two other water bottles that were cheaper. They were probably like 15 bucks each. I'm like, let's bring this. So Milo's was fine. The second we get on the plane, tell me how we noticed that Leo's water bottle was broken and it was leaking everywhere. So the entire trip, they both shared a bright pink water bottle. So a bit of a lesson for us, all you parents out there, if you're planning a trip and not planning on bringing their everyday water bottle, definitely test out the bottle beforehand, make sure it's working and not broken because we screwed up there. But that was like minor, it was fine. Something else that I would highly recommend is definitely bring a blanket or a stuffed animal, some sort of comfort toy that they really like. For Mila, we brought her bunny blanket. She sleeps with it every single night. And then with Leo, we brought his Spider-Man blanket. He's not too attached to that, to be honest, but we wanted a nice, warm, cozy blanket for both of them. Definitely buy new books for them, something to keep them entertained. But honestly, toddlers will be toddlers. Don't freak out if they end up losing their minds. You could have a million snacks, a million books, a million toys, and they're still gonna throw a tantrum. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. It will probably happen, especially if you have younger ones like we do. I would also say, in regards to our specific situation, we only had 2 beach days. So the rest of the days we literally just sat around at home and the kids would walk on the property. We would look at the pigs. There was cows that would come on the property. The mango trees that we would climb and pick fresh mangoes every single day. They had tractors there. They had big trucks there. So Leo had so much fun with all those kind of like big trucks and tractors. They also had the chickens, which were so much fun, but we really didn't do too much when we were there. We did go to the grocery store twice. We picked up food quite a bit, and then just the 2 beach days. So it wasn't exactly a typical vacation where you would go to a resort and do something new every day or go to the beach every day or the pool every day. It was definitely more so a family trip. We needed to make sure the kids met Jermaine's dad, spent quality time with him, and we achieved that. So we all left very happy, very tired, but very happy. Another really funny thing, so Mila was terrified of Jermaine's dad. I think because the first time they saw each other, he kind of like grabbed her right away to hold her, and I don't think she liked that very much. She has to kind of get used to the person. She has to warm up to them. So for the rest of the week, she would not go near him. She would not talk to him. She would not look at him. She would be like, hi, and that's it. So the second last day, I was like, Mila, like, do you want to go give Grandpa a hug? And she said, yes. I'm like, okay, let's go, let's go. So I had her like sprinting up to him. She's like, come on, mommy, come on. I'm like, I'm coming. And she like ran into his arms, gave him the biggest hug, and then she didn't look at him ever again until the end of the trip. There were so many funny and cute moments like that. Like with these kids, they're so unpredictable. You don't know what they're gonna say or do. So all in all, if you are thinking of booking a trip, I would definitely say do it, because it's not gonna go perfect. It never goes perfect. There are gonna be bumps in the road, but honestly, the memories that we made were amazing. And just like the videos that I took that week, I love. The kids are obsessed with watching them. And I was able to get a few subscribers from that. So that makes me happy as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you watch the rest of the Jamaican vlogs because they are so much fun. They're so cute, and it kind of gives you a glimpse of the farm life in Jamaica, not only like the fun resort life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.